Alright, so I'm gonna have to do this video shirtless because I've had the fan on for about 20 minutes blowing on me while I've just been sat in my pants, hoping that it's gonna cool me down, and it has like slightly, but I can't even contemplate putting on a binder or anything right now. So you're just getting a largely zoomed in video of like from here upwards. Hey, so as you can see by the title, this is going to be a quick little Q&A video. I asked all you guys on my social media to send me in some questions to answer in a video. I asked on Snapchat, Instagram and Twitter. Most of the questions have come from Snapchat, there's a few from Instagram and I think one from Twitter. So thank you to that one person who is actually active on my Twitter. And again, sorry about probably my face and my voice. I've still got the cold that I had last week. It's starting to sort of simmer down, it's just my nose is constantly just dripping. I've got box tissues, a bin and some juice there on hand. So I'm probably going to blow my nose at least 50 times throughout this video, so... Also, I'm not going to be able to mention everybody's names that were on Snapchat because some people sent me a picture of themselves with like writing on it. But for some reason Instagram doesn't put the name above it, so I don't know who sent me what. The only ones that I can say names of people that sent me on the chat because it comes up with a name there. So some people are going to be nameless. But if you're watching this and you sent one of the questions and your name wasn't on it, comment down below and let me know it was you so I can thank you. So anyway, the first question is, what is your proudest achievement? Starting off with the hard questions. To be honest, I don't really do anything interesting. It's kind of all mundane things. So, what have I done in my life? I mean, if it wants to be trans-related, then probably the... Not coming out, I don't want to say I'm proud of myself for coming out. Like, it's a good thing and I'm glad that I did. But I'm proud to be able to help people through this YouTube channel. I'm proud to be able to hopefully make a difference and maybe just help people out a little bit with the videos I make. Non-trans related, I got an A in one of my GCSEs in business studies. Pretty happy about that. I don't know, just guesses, I don't know. I might think of something later, but it'll be useless then. Thanks. How did you come up with your name? That is from Jakuta on Snapchat. So you asked the question that is going to be given the most boring answer. I didn't really go on like a big journey to choose my name or think of a name. I just really liked it from being little, so like when I play with my toys, my favourite like sort of male toys, I'd always give them the name Jaden. Because I always wanted that name, but I was like, well, I'm never going to have that name because I'm not a boy and that's a boy's name. And then my other thinking was like, oh, well, if I have a son when I grow up, I'll call him Jaden or whatever. But yeah, I just always really liked that name for some reason. I don't know why. Just one of those things. I just always liked it. So when I came out, and my mum was like, what have you thought about, you know, you can change your name because my birth name is very much not a male name. It's not unisex anywhere near. It's very much going to be perceived as a female name. And like straight away just went, Jaden. Because that's the name that I always wanted. I didn't even really have to think about it. It's just like, I got asked, and that was the first thing that came to mind, and it was the thing that was perfect and made the most sense, so, yeah. Somebody else asks, what's your dream job? Dream job. I think the problem with this is because I'm doing this on YouTube, most people probably assume that YouTube would be my dream job to do full-time and just get paid for to do this. But to be honest, I think if this was my job and this was the one thing that like determined all of my income, I feel like it wouldn't be as fun of a thing. Like it would still be fun probably, but I think it would turn it a lot more stressful. Because you see a lot of YouTubers that are like, they still have fun with it, but there's a lot of things behind the scenes that means that they get really stressed out about it, and it probably turns it into sort of a less chill out thing. Like, I just do this in my spare time, make videos, edit them whenever, upload them. So I don't think, I mean, it would be great to get paid for this and be able to add to my income, but I feel like I'd rather have a job or something else for my main income and just have this as like a little side thing. You don't pay. Like I don't get paid for this now. My total revenue I think is like £1, not even £1, $1.53 last time I checked, which was like the other day. So I don't get paid for it, but I enjoy doing it. That was I literally just answered what my dream job wouldn't be. I don't know, to be honest. Right now I'm just looking for any job. But I think I'm doing game development at college, so I think probably being able to do something around that. Again, I don't think I'd want to work for like a big AAA sort of games company. Probably something like indie. Just something that pays but is fun to do. So I feel like that'd probably be a nice thing. Alright, so this person, I'm just going to tell you a little backstory right now. When I sent out a snap to everybody and on my story about asking me questions for a video, this guy, Blue, is his name on here, they asked me, will it be a serious Q&A or a funny one? So I was like, oh, it's just a Q&A, there's no category, you can ask me whatever question about whatever, trans-related, not trans-related, whatever you want. So he just said, sweet, how do you cook a cabbage? So to my knowledge, I've cooked cabbage before, not very many times. I normally just like kind of eat broccoli and cauliflower if I make it on my own. But as far as I'm aware, you take the cabbage leaves, you cut them up, I do them like strips, like little thin strips, and then you put them in a pan of boiling water. You put them on the hob, and boily, until, I don't know the exact amount of time, until it's soft enough or whatever to your liking, and then you drain out the water, and you put it on the plate, and the cabbage is cooked, and then you probably eat it, unless, you know, you want to, like, throw it in the air as confetti or something, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Cooking lessons with Jay. Somebody else asked, is ace bandage binding safe? I said that I would answer this in the Q&A, but I also answered them there and then, like on the spot as soon as I saw it. Because binding with ace bandages is probably the most unsafe way to bind ever. Like, out of all the bad ways to bind that can damage you and stuff, that's probably the worst one. Reason being is that ace bandages are compression bandages, which means they're used for injuries and things. Basically what they do is when an area, say your wrist, is swollen, when it swells up, the bandages compress more to like bring down the swelling. So think about that in terms of your chest. So obviously when you breathe in, your chest expands, and then when you breathe out, it despands. I don't know the word for that. So when it expands, obviously the bandage will expand with it, and then when it goes back in, the bandages are going to tighten. So if you're wearing that for hours and hours and hours, which you will be if you're out and about and you're binding with it like you would a binder, you're obviously going to be breathing throughout the day, hopefully. I'd definitely hope so. But you'll be breathing throughout the day, so your chest is going to be expanding, and I don't know the word, it's going to be going out and in again. When it goes out, it's going to compress, and it's going to keep doing that, and it's going to get tighter and tighter and tighter throughout the day. Which means it's going to be like wearing a binder like 3 sizes too small all day, and just progressively getting worse. Which means it can crush your ribs, it can give you bruising, it can give you problems breathing. It's just not a fun time, and it can really damage you. Which means it can do serious damage, it can really hurt your ribs. Think about where your ribs are. Your rib cage basically protects most of your vital organs. So if you're crushing your rib cage, it can break your rib, it can puncture a lung, it could do all sorts of things that can be life-threatening. It's really not worth it. What I will say is if that you're looking for some way, if you or anybody that wants to know is looking for some way to bind but they can't get hold of a binder, I made a video all about binder safety, which involves actual, you know, generally purpose-made binders, how to stay safe with them, sort of do's and don'ts with how to bind swimming, binding when you're swimming, and also if you don't have a binder, ways that you could maybe get one, and alternative ways to bind which are way safer than the ways that other people would probably bind. So if you are worried about that, if you're using ace bandages or thinking about it, or you want some way to be able to bind or how to get a binder, then I will leave the link to that video in the description, also a card should be popping up right about now, and I'll leave it on the end slate, so go and check that out. Make sure you're being safe. That's why I made the video. I just really hope that you will take it on board and really understand that binding unsafely is life-threatening. So please be safe. Don't bind with ace bandages. So the answer to the question is no, absolutely not. And yeah, stay safe, check out the video. So Shane asks 3 questions actually. He said, how long have you known you're trans? I don't know. There's not, I don't know. There's no exact pinpoint that I can think. Like, I for certain 100% knew and actually came out to somebody when I was either 11 or 12. But that was when I came out to somebody, so obviously there was previous sort of thinking and knowing then, before I pushed it down and came out when I was 17. But, you know, when I was younger, there was things that sort of, I don't know, maybe questioned and thought about. Like I said previously, I was wanting the name Jaden, but I was like, I can never have that because I'll never be a boy. So, earlier on there was obviously sort of little thinkings, but I probably didn't know what trans was or what that really meant, or understood anything really then. But I think definite questioning started when I hit puberty, so I went into high school, because I stopped being interested in any sports, because, you know, chest, horrible things. There was sort of a gap between me and the other lads. Wow, my voice just went very rough. So that's sort of the time when I was like, puberty is the time when the difference between boys and girls becomes very, very apparent. So I think for trans people, that tends to kind of be the moment where they're like, something is very not wrong, I do not like this at all. So no exact pinpoint, but there was things, you know, earlier on, and probably mainly around puberty time. He also asked, if you're not on testosterone, when do you start? I don't have a starting date, that's not how it works in the UK. Unless you go like private, then you've got more of an idea. But I'm currently on a gender clinic waiting list, which is 18 months long, estimated, when I first went on the waiting list. I've been waiting since the 23rd of August, so that's about August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. That's 10 months in, 5 days. 10 months in 5 days, so nearly 10 months I've been waiting on there. So about another 8, and that's just to get an initial appointment and then discuss things in initial appointment. I think you have to have 2 appointments. Generally, their time frame, I asked them, was about 3 to 6 months before they get people on HRT, if that's what's going to happen. There can be delays depending on person to person, but so I've probably got about 8 more months to wait, and say max, max 9 months after that to get on testosterone. So there's no exact time frame, it's just however things go and whenever I get seen. So your guess is as good as mine. And the last one from Shane was, how accepting are people where you're from? Generally speaking, I don't really know. I think it's not as bad as, say, a lot of places in America, you know, the sort of southern places where everything is very much religion and against gay people and anything that's not, and sort of anything that's not your standard cisgender heterosexual sort of thing. So I think we're probably a lot more accepting than a lot of places. Can't really mention many, I don't really know. Family are great, all my family are amazing. But generally speaking, I'm not really sure of statistics and how well people take things. I don't generally come out on a day-to-day basis, so yeah. I think we're pretty good. I think we're getting there. There's obviously going to be people that are dicks, but that happens everywhere, so, you know. And somebody else asks, how do you cope with hate in general and throughout your transition? I think I'm quite lucky in the fact that I don't get much hate. I've had the odd, I think I've had like 2 comments on videos, which is good going to say we're nearly at 1,000 subscribers, so. But I'm one of those people where I think I'm quite good at seeing the funny side, and when somebody's trying to bring you down, the thing is with people is that they've taken the time to come and find my videos just to comment something stupid, so I find it funny and just sad that they have to bring people down to bring themselves up a little bit. It's really sad life, but at the same time it's funny because they're purposely trying to find people to upset them, so they've come and commented on my video thinking, oh, I was going to be really upset. In actual fact, I laughed and deleted the comment. So really they put a smile on my face, which I think is quite funny. Throughout my transition, again, I've never had any face-to-face hate. Nobody's ever had a problem with face-to-face. Probably because most people that I see outside of my family don't know that I'm trans. It's not something that I bring up in daily conversation because I'm one of those people that's like, I suppose you could probably say I'm stealth at college. Not really through choice, but kind of through choice. I mean, I didn't come out as soon as I went in because there was no reason to. You know, why would I walk in and go, I'm the trans guy? Because that's the label that I wanted straight away. I know for a fact that if the subject came up and we were talking about trans people and trans stuff, I'd happily say that I'm trans and give my input on the conversation. But if it's a moment when it don't come up, it don't come up. So I think for the most part, most of my life people don't know I'm trans, the subject doesn't really come up, so I have no reason for anybody to give me hate if they don't know. So it's really just online. I had a few Instagram messages from people being like, oh, you're gonna burn in hell, and I'm like, oh, I'm really block. It's like, I'm quite good at just going, these people are idiots. I don't care what they think, and what they think is wrong anyway, so yeah, generally, easiest way to go is that they don't affect you. You know that you're you know what's going off, better than anybody else does, and you just kind of have to laugh at the fact that people feel the need to try and bring other people down all the time just to bring themselves up a little bit, so just believe in yourself and laugh at the stupid people. Dracula asks, what inspiration helps you come up with new video ideas? My brain. I don't know. There's been a few that I've seen other people do, and I've sort of, when I was watching it, I thought, oh, they could have mentioned this, they could have mentioned this, they could have mentioned this, or, oh, that would have been funny to put in there, oh, I thought they were going to say this. So I think, like, very few, probably like things that you shouldn't say to a trans guy, that sort of thing, that a lot of people have done in the past. It's sort of just, I've taken that and I've gone, oh, I can add all these things to it, and, you know, so I thought I'd do that. But generally, it's just kind of, sometimes you guys ask me questions, so I'll try and turn that into a video, like now, Q&A. But some people ask me to do like videos about certain things or ask me questions, and I try and turn that into a video. That way I'm not just helping that one person by giving them an answer, but I could actually make a video that could be seen and help more people who are probably going through a similar thing, and then direct that person to that video, maybe, so they can watch it and maybe help them. So, generally just kind of things that I feel like might be good to talk about, might help people, things that I want to talk about generally, and things that people ask me to make videos about. I don't really know how to answer that one, just meh, yeah. And I think it's Louis. The name was like Louis or in brackets Alex. So Louis or Alex, I'm not sure. You had 2 names, confusing. You know who you are anyway. This person asked 2 questions saying, were your parents accepting and how are you passing? I think it's just like, how well do you pass? So my parents were very, very accepting, which I know I'm very lucky and very, very grateful for. All my family really are really accepting. I've had no problems with any family members. I had one little blip with one family member who was just like, you'll always be birth name until you get the op. Didn't say it to me, said it to somebody else, but I heard about it. But they were never disrespectful, ever, to me. This is just, you know, they're older generations, they were in a different time, very stubborn. In a matter of weeks, when people were calling me Jade and using he and pronouns, for the first bit, he never used my birth name. He generally just, like, sort of called my attention in some other way, like, hey, or just goes, oh, just started a conversation without actually saying anything. So he was being respectful in that sense, that I think it was hard to adjust, but they didn't want to use, my birth name and other pronouns or whatever. But then after everybody, got used to it and was saying it, even, the younger kids, I think they just sort of went, yeah, this is how it is, so they just started calling me Jaden and him, so that's all good. And it wasn't even really a bad blip, because they were always respectful, so everyone's good, which, again, I know I'm really, really looking for, and I'm really grateful for that, and it's a great support system to know that everybody's supportive of me, so. How well do I pass? I pass generally quite well. I think I've spoken about this a fair few times before, but I think generally it's because my voice is quite deep. This isn't an accurate representation of my voice because I've got a cold, so, but yeah, my voice is quite deep, which always helps, because I know the few times that I don't pass, like, I don't not pass that often, and it's generally when I'm not really talking, like if I go into a shop and I just kind of put some on the desk, or on this, whatever, it's counter, and the woman or whoever will, like, beep, and go, that'll be so much, and then they'll say something like, that is just very female gendered, but yeah, that's the only time that really nothing happens. I think my voice is a very big help in that. Again, just luck, really. Someone else asked, have you heard of Summer in the City and are you going? I have heard of Summer in the City, it looks very, very cool. I would love to go, but I can't go because is it in London? I think it's in London. I don't live near London, and I have no money, so I have to get there. I have to stay somewhere probably, and you need money generally to go out and do things, so no, I can't go. I'm skint. I would love to go one day though, and I hope to, so poor. Someone else asks, what is the most difficult thing you've ever done? Coming out. That's a very easy one, because again, came out at like 11, 12 to a friend, woke up the next morning, took it all back and was like, no, that didn't happen, I was joking, whatever, every excuse under the sun. Pushed it down every single day of my life until I was 17, and actually let myself think about it, and took like between like 4, 5, 6, I don't know the exact amount, a lot of months researching things and looking at people's videos to make sure, one, that I was absolutely sure, even though I knew I was because I came out and it was there every single day, but just to make sure, because I don't want to come out and then be like, actually no, this is bullshit, I'm just, whatever. And also to get like every answer to every question that my mum or dad could ever ask, or anybody could ever ask, because I wanted to make sure, because I knew I was sure, but I didn't want them to ask me a question and me not know the answer, and that seemed like I wasn't serious, I didn't really understand, so I wanted that. But yes, and then I actually was like all pumped up on the day, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go and talk to my mum and dad. Sat there and I was like, go on then, and it was just like, frozen. I think I shat a brick, so I couldn't actually physically say it, just text my mum, and yeah, it was all good, they were all fine, but it was very, very uncomfortable, not uncomfortable, it was just very hard to accept it myself, and then feeling like I had to know everything. So that was very difficult, but I did it, and I'm so glad that I did, because I'm here, yay.